पी लिया जनता का खून, पी लिया जनता का खून। वो योगी जी उनके औलाद नहीं है, मोदी जी उनके औलाद नहीं है, उन्हें क्या दर्द इनका। आप राजा हो तो प्रजा से तो राजा बने हो। कहते कठोर राजा तो कभी नहीं था जितना कठोर राजा ये बन गए। प्रजा की नहीं सुनोगे तो हाय बहुत बुरी लगेगी।
हम इसको कुर्सी पर बिठा सकते हैं तो उसको उखाड़ कर फेंक भी सकते हैं। इनको पूछो कि गेहूं कितने किलो पड़ता है, कब बोई जाती है।
तो यही नहीं पता होगा आलू पेड़ में लगते कि जमीन में।
जो कर रहा है वो गलत कर रहा है। अगर ये आगे से राज करना है तो किसान के साथ चले, नहीं तो देख लो फिर किसान क्या करेगा।
These three farmers' laws have been passed basically in order to hand over agriculture and farmers to the large corporates. The first law is to get rid of mandis and get rid of MSP so that farmers are left entirely to the vagaries of the market. And the market is being sought to be given to large corporates by way of allowing them to get into contract farming in a big way, and thereafter removing the restrictions for hoarding these commodities under the Essential Commodities Act. And the farmers have understood this. Plus, you see, these bills are primarily dealing with agriculture, which is a state subject, and Parliament could not have passed these laws. It was not within the jurisdiction of Parliament, it was within the jurisdiction of the state legislatures. Secondly, there was no pre-legislative consultation as is required by the rules. For 30 days, the laws have to be put in the public domain so that people can comment about them. That was not done. Thereafter, these kind of laws are normally referred to parliamentary committees where they can be discussed with various stakeholders. This was also not done. Thereafter, there is normally a good discussion in Parliament. That was also not allowed. And then it should have been voted upon physically, because the rule requires that even if one member of Parliament asks for a physical vote, it has to be voted physically. In the Raj Sabha, it was passed by a voice vote amidst a lot of shouting, etc., when clearly the government did not even have a majority in the Raj Sabha. So these are totally illegal, unconstitutional. But the question is, the farmers do not have any confidence anymore in the independence of the Supreme Court. And therefore the main farmers organizations don't want to go to the Supreme Court to challenge the constitutionality of these laws. Nationalism means being concerned and loving your nation, being concerned about and loving your nation. And nation primarily consists of people. And therefore you need to love the people of this nation in order to love the nation, in order to be a nationalist. But today, unfortunately, the whole meaning and definition of nationalism by the government and by the BJP and by the trolls of the BJP has been sought to be changed, and by all these enforcement agencies, the police, etc. They feel that anybody who is opposed to the government, who says anything against the government or against the BJP, is anti-national. So the nation has been equated to the government or the party. This is a totally perverse definition of nationalism. And in fact, just before the emergency, after the Allahabad High Court judgment, when courtiers of Mrs. Gandhi, including the then Congress president, danced in front of her house saying India is Indira and Indira is India, same kind of thinking is now prevailing, as if the nation is Mr. Modi, or the nation is the BJP, or the nation is the government, and anybody who opposes either Mr. Modi or the BJP or the government is anti-national. This is a very perverse thinking and totally undemocratic, because in a democracy everybody has a right to criticize the government if it is going wrong or doing something which is perceived to be against public interest. The government does not want an independent media. It first compromised the mainstream media by inducements, by threats, by letting loose the enforcement agencies like Income Tax, Enforcement Directorate, CBI, NIA, etc., on those who refuse to fall in line. Thereafter, fortunately, a lot of independent media platforms were created like The Wire, NewsClick, Scroll, Quint, News Laundry, etc. And many people came on YouTube with like Dhruv Rathi, Akash Banerjee, etc., who started doing excellent work, media work, by way of discussing critical issues in a very nice way. But the government is now seeking to silence the alternative media on the internet as well as the social media also, by again using arrests, FIRs, Enforcement Directorate, etc. Recently, this Punia was arrested because he was reporting about the farmers' protests. Before that, FIRs have been registered against people like Siddharth Vardarajan of The Wire, Rajdeep Sardesai, etc. And recently NewsClick offices as well as the residences of the promoters of NewsClick were raided by the Enforcement Directorate. So it's very clear that the government wants to silence every kind of independent media in this country, and it is using every tool at their disposal, of course misusing every tool at their disposal in order to do that. So the farmers' protests that we have seen around Delhi in the last 2.5 months are extraordinary. We have never seen these kind of protests of lakhs of people sitting out in the cold for 2.5 months in such hostile conditions, when the government has stopped their internet, has barricaded the place, has cut off even water and electricity, is harassing those people by way of FIRs, arrests and so on, and yet they have not only sat there, but their numbers have increased. We have never seen that for 2.5 months lakhs of people would be fed free in these langars which have been going on at these protest sites. And this is, of course, there are farmers from not just Punjab but from Haryana, from UP and also other states who are sitting there. But the backbone of these protests are the Sikh farmers, primarily from Punjab and sometimes from other states also, because in the Sikh community there has been a tradition of service in which they do this kar seva and have langars for free food for a lot of people and poor people primarily, and that is why they have been able to do this. The Sikhs also have that spirit of fighting for the rights of the weak and the minorities and not bending to the might of the powerful. And this is also on display in these farmers' protests. I don't think that this government has had any experience of dealing with the spirit of the Sikhs before, and therefore they have not been able to deal with these protests with these ham-handed ways that they have tried. Every attempt to suppress the protests has only made them become stronger.